Hey everyone, it's Cat Ninja.
Dragon Ninja.
And this is Vinyl Collection Part 1. Of 2.
Yeah. And it's not because Funko's, having struggles or whatever. We just thought, it was time. Still collect Funkos, but no more, no more big ones like videos like these,
Yeah.
Alright. So we're starting off with the Mosasaurus in the Jurassic World Rebirth 1. Saw that movie. I think it's the second best in the World Series. I think the first one the best. And I got this pop at Islands of Adventure in Orlando, and I think that Island of Adventure is like definitely the best park out of all the Orlando parks. And if you remember, in the very first video when I was doing the Jurassic Park pops, I said I rode the Jurassic World ride in the Hollywood one, and then now I rode the Jurassic Park ride and the Lost Coaster, both very good rides. And some people say the Lost Coaster is the best roller coaster in the world, and I can't argue that. So, yeah. And then we got, oh man, I really don't even know how to pronounce that. The I don't know. All I know it was a bird Pokemon and the new one, and that Ada guy, and yeah. And it looks funny in the thing, you might even notice, but I have it out of this case for part of my Jurassic, where my Jurassic collection is, where all my Jurassic Park stuff is. It's not with the rest of the pops; those are their own part. And then this thing is with the collection in my collection space, for the park space. Yeah. We got Space Godzilla. Look at that, very cool looking pop. So Space Godzilla is actually rumored to be the next villain in the new Godzilla and Kong movie. I think it's called Supernova, which comes out, next year, yeah. And I don't remember where I got it, but oh no, I do. I knew it was Funko, wasn't it? Because this is Funko exclusive, or I'm not sure where I got it, but yeah, very cool looking pop, and it's a little bigger than the others, but I don't mind. This is one I'm bidding for this one and the next one I'm about to show, if I want to bring it on occasion, because it looks very, very cool. I remember briefly a little bit watching the Space Godzilla movie one, but yeah, very cool pop. But this next one, oh yeah, this next one, Destroya. Look at that, very cool looking pop. Although I think he's a little more red than purple, because he's more purple in the movie and the game stuff. I first knew about Destroya in one of the games, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. That's when I saw the monster. I'm like, who is this guy? I didn't know it back then. And I saw the movie, of course, Godzilla versus Destroya, which was really the end of the era in the Godzilla movies, and very good. And people think and believe that he will be the final big bad in the Godzilla and King Kong movies. And there's a hint that he will be, because in the first one, in the first Godzilla movie, they had the oxygen destroyer, and that's how he came to be in the previous ones. But definitely one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite pops. I mean, when I had a list of pops I wanted, he was definitely on there, and I was excited when he came out, and I got him, and very good. And another one I think I might bring out sometime and put somewhere to stand out, because he's like so good, very good pop, very good character, and yeah. Alright, up next, we got a horror pop. I know a lot of horrors, and this is Pennywise, the Tim Curry version, obviously. He looks very, the show, of course, not Tim Curry's version, but show came out on HBO Max, the first season. I didn't finish it, and then I think there's gonna be a second season, but I don't know. I was a little not my cup of tea, but but of course I did see movies and stuff. I saw the first part movies and miniseries, and then the movies. I thought they were both pretty good. I guess I give it a little edge to the newer ones, but still I still think Tim Curry though was a better Pennywise and very iconic, and that's kind of the one we have there with him. You know, obviously, look like he's getting ready to eat somebody or something. Look like he's getting ready to grab Georgie or something, which I think. But yeah, another horror pop, and I guess what you call horror is really the only horror we have in the final part. I know I have Ghostface, Jason, Freddy, Myers. Do I have Leatherface? Yeah, I think I have Leatherface, and yeah. All right. Well, change up a little bit from Pennywise to Homer Simpson. I don't know. I feel like I was a Simpsons fan for like maybe a month because I was watching them and stuff. And the older seasons I've seen are really good, and of course when you get to like season 9, it really falters. But yeah, that's Homer. He's holding a drink. Of course, you think obviously went the Krusty Burger. You think he'd be holding a donut, and I know like we have a can of him, and he's holding the beer. The chase we got. Homer's the only chase we ever got so far. From the can wise, we got the Homer chase, and I got him. In the next one I'll show at the this new place. I can't think of the name. Sorry, I can't shout you guys out, but it's a new place. It has like Funkos and Pokemon cards and I really don't know what else because I've only been there like twice. But yeah, and I got him. He's the next character at the store. So I'll show. And it is. And the box is a little messed up. It's corner box is a little messed up, but it's Krusty the Clown. I like our second clown in the video. I think I always like Krusty the Clown. I think he's probably he's my favorite Simpsons character. And I mentioned did ride the Simpsons ride in both lands. I think I enjoyed the first time because in the California one, and when I rode it in Orlando, I was like sick, so not sick, like but motion sickness from that. So, but yeah, and he's got Mr. Teeny there, the monkey, which I don't know, I really remember a little bit, maybe in the movie. I remember it, but I don't have much memory of it. The monkey, maybe it was in the newer season, I don't know, but yeah. She's kind of. I tried an impression. I'm not gonna do that because I really botched it. But yeah. All right. So next, got Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron. I have Jimmy Neutron, but it's from not the same part collection though. It's a different one. And there's Jimmy in this collection, but I don't have that one. But because I already have a Jimmy Neutron, I don't try and get multiples. Although we have multiple Chuckies, of course, like 3 Chuckies, and of course the Cat Ninja has many Maries. But yeah, that's Carl, and I like the Jimmy Neutron. I think I mentioned that when I first when Jimmy Neutron was in the one video. I forget which one it was, but I was a fan of that show. I'd say I'd probably put it. I can't put it right now in number 2. I'm thinking because Rugrats is obviously I think the best, which you saw in the video. I had Chucky and Tommy, but man, his boxes will be up in the front, but it's alright. It's Carl, big glasses, eyes, yeah. So it's Carl Weezer. And of course you got the other half, Sheen, which some people think is creepy with a smile. I don't mind that much, and Sheen was definitely my favorite Jimmy Neutron character. And I did give that spin-off show, Planet Sheen, a try, but yeah, it was not good. But of course, he was on Jimmy Neutron. Of course, he loves Ultra Lord. I know his voice actor just recently passed. I think Jeffrey Garcia, I think it was, or not 100% sure the name, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And yeah, so that's sad. Because yeah, Sheen was definitely Sheen was part of my childhood. Although I didn't have no superhero sessions like he did. I mean, I like Batman and stuff, of course, but it wasn't like he's very hyperactive character. Yeah. And sorry if I got the name wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure on that of his actor, but yeah. Alright. Next we have a whole collection. We have the whole collection, whole set of these pops. First is Littlefoot, my probably second favorite character of the Land Before Time series. And for this, franchise, it's one I agree. I'm usually a guy who I like sequels and I like continuing stories, but I think this one probably should have stopped at number 1 because I've seen I think I stopped watching the Land for Time after the Big Freeze one. The Big Freeze one was really my last one, and then I really stopped. What kind of grew out, but obviously I aged out. But yeah, Land for Time. First one, a very good movie. Of course, me, dinosaur guy. And Littlefoot, of course, had a tragedy in the first one, and then and then he's really kind of the leader of the group. The Brachiosaurus, and like I said, my second favorite character of the Land for Time series. Like I said, you probably know who's all coming because, like I said, we have the whole set of this. So next person is Sarah. I don't know if you hear the dog whimpering in the background because she's out of the room because she won't behave. So, Sierra, I was telling her face, she has the tough look and stuff. She's a tough one of the group. She's the first one to meet a Littlefoot, and she was in the first one really hard on them, and they really always butt heads about the series. But she's tough. She has a dad, of course. She's a triceratops, and stuff, and yeah, Sierra. And I think she was the last one from the collection we got. We had everybody else, and she was the last one to come. So, yep, that's Sierra. And then we got Ducky. Yep. She was the second one to meet Littlefoot. She has that perky attitude and stuff, perky spunk and everything. Of course, she has a brother who will be shown next. Let me put him. Let me just because they really do go together. Spike, her brother Spike, who is if you don't know, is a mute. Doesn't really talk. Although he did say one thing. His first word was Ducky because she was in trouble during I don't know which movie it was, but he yells Ducky, and everybody goes when he talks because Ducky's in trouble. But he really kind of was adopted by Ducky's family because he's born, and then she finds them, and then at the end they go, "It's their brother Spike." When they find the Great Valley. I always say it like that because that's how he said. Someone, I think it was Littlefoot who said it like that or Sarah in the first one when they found the Great Valley. The place I know around an area I call it that and stuff, the Great Valley. But yeah, Ducky, Spike, brother and sister. All right, and next is my favorite character. I said Littlefoot was my second. Those three, whatever. But Petrie was definitely my favorite of the Land for Time bunch. And I don't remember these be disappointed because I had a Land for Time racing game, and he wasn't a playable character. I guess it makes sense because he flies, but you can pick him. It was the other four you could be. And I remember I wanted to be Petrie, but nope, he was like a guy or whatever because obviously he flies. So yeah, he was my favorite. They almost, for a second you thought he was gone in the first one because of Sharp Tooth, but no. And he goes, "You leave out Petrie." Man, my voice cracks when I say try and Petrie. I can't, do the voices. Really, I'm not gonna try. I'm not an impressionist, But even trying to beat the mimic Ducky was hard enough. But yeah, Petrie, my favorite character from Land for Time. And I remember there was one of him focus on where there was a character and he was defending him, but he was a really bad guy. But like I said, it's been forever since I've watched any definitely the sequels. I think I don't know. I did a rewatch. I don't know, again a long time ago. The first one, which obviously I think they should have stopped at. The Land for Time. I of course like I said I watched from up to the Big Freeze, and maybe that one with Petrie and the character, like I said, foggy memory, but yeah. And the final character in the collection is, I named him earlier, he's big, he's a big boy, jeez. Sharp Tooth, the, can you see him that way better? I don't know if you can see his red eyes or not, but we'll leave him that way for now, yeah. Sharp Tooth, the, villain of the first one, that roar, how you forget, kind of, did actually cause the Littlefoot, the tragedy that happened to him, in that movie. And then of course, Sharptooth almost takes Pichu with him. Thankfully he didn't, but and as far as I know, he was only in the Sharptooth character was only in the first one. I don't know if they were brought back. I doubt that, but I know they had more T-Rexes and stuff. But yeah, and T-Rex, of course, glad to have him. Sharptooth, T-Rexes. If I did like a ranking of T-Rexes, I don't know where he'd be. He'd definitely be, I think, top 10 my favorite. I don't know. I won't ever do that. I'm not gonna do like a top 10 video of my favorite T-Rexes. But yeah, Sharptooth, very very mean guy, and yeah, but that's Sharptooth for you. All right, and that's the Land for Time collection part. Next, all right, I'll try and do. I'll do Mew once. Nope, not gonna do it. Mew, but it's Mew. Oh, see, oh man, the box up top is a little messed up, you see, but it's Mew. Of course, I have Mewtwo, another Pokemon. This is the only Pokemon we'll have in this one, Mew. And this was a Christmas gift. This was all the way back in Christmas. I got Mew, and yeah, I remember. Of course, Mew is of course from the first movie. The first Pokemon movie, and then I don't know if made any other appearances, but yeah, of course, there was that Mew card. Well, the Mew card kind of did in the second one, and I had that Mew card. I remember it was very, very how it looks. I don't have a picture. Of course, I don't have it now, so I can't show you what it was like. But if you had it, what it was like, and yeah. So Mew, another Pokemon. I gotta catch them all. I'm not gonna catch every Pokemon. I don't think they have all the Pokemon, but we have, a lot I want like Gengar, Squirtle, Pidgeotto. Got those ones. Of course, Mewtwo. And I think I'm gonna change it where Mew and Mewtwo are gonna be the one on the top of the collection of where all Pokemon are and stuff. But yeah, good addition to the collection. Like I said, the only Pokemon in this video, and yeah, it's Mew. Alright, we got from Stranger Things, Vecna. And I know a lot of fans know that the final season was not well met, and I'm gonna go talk spoilers here, so you haven't seen it, I guess back out now and go and see it. But yeah, I think Vecna and the Mind Flare were pretty easily defeated. I think no struggle at all, and everybody agrees on that. They were taken out like nothing. I can talk about another show spoil, but I won't. But yeah, he was very, very a big, this big presence, this big thing, and goes out really nothing. And they say maybe a reason was because he was in the cave and he was weak because he went in the cave where he was scared of and went in there and he wasn't full power. But just yeah, kind of some people compare him to I don't know how to say it, the Night King, another big bad who was brought up in this and that and just went out like nothing, And I agree on that. He was nothing. And this is Vecna, not the Super Vecna, because I think there may be a version of Super Vecna where he's all big, aka people compare to Groot, because I see very similar to him and Groot because they both grow, both kind of like trees. But yeah, that's Vecna. The villain. Clock of Doom. Stuff. I like him. Only the second character Stranger Things we have because I think it was, I don't know which it was, maybe the second one, I think I want to say. Yeah, definitely. I don't think it was the first one. It was the second one where we had Steve Harrington, my favorite character, and then I call Vecna probably my second favorite. The villain, always like the big bad villain and stuff. Very cool character, very cool. Very cool. The box and stuff is also cool. It's one I think would have to take. Would keep in the box, not take out. I know a lot of new ones they make for the to take out because the Jurassic Park ones, very were I took my T-Rex and Velociraptor out to pose for my collection stuff to display them, and yeah, Velociraptor has lost a leg. He lost a leg and does not want to stay, but I'm working on that stuff, and yeah, I'll figure that out.
Okay.
Alright, And continuing, we have not many left in the first part. Obviously, you can tell this is my part. Cat Ninja will be in the second part. But this person from North Carolina, Michael Jordan. The Bulls. I think I remember mentioning in the first one when I brought the Raptor. You know, the dinosaur, because I get him. But that if I went to a store, I think it was GameStop, and I saw the Raptor. If there's been the Bull, I would have got him. But now I have Michael Jordan, because the Bulls are my number 2 team. They're my number 2 team. And of course, you get the Bulls, you gotta get Michael Jordan stuff. You know, he is, of course, he went 6-0 in the finals. You know, he's probably some argue the greatest athlete of all time. You know, no offense to Muhammad Ali. You know, Tom Brady, Babe Ruth, but I think, in my opinion alone, is that Michael Jordan is the greatest athlete of all time. You know, and sorry, LeBron people, but Jordan. I mean, he's got the stats, got it all. He's he is a player. He's a bull, huh? No pun intended. But yeah, and of course, and I'll mention, of course, the Space Jam movies. Watch the Space Jam movies. The Looney Tunes. And of course, we only have, I think, Bugs Bunny. And that was the very first video. It was Bugs Bunny, who's the only really Looney Tune character we have in the collection. But yeah.
So the other ones are the one I want is expensive.
Yeah.
Roadrunner.
Yeah, Porky Pig. I don't know, for me. They do have like Space Jam versions of those, but I really would just rather have Porky Pig instead of the Space Jam version. But yeah, he was obviously in that movie. I think the first one is very good, and I think the second one is really not rewatchable. If you watch it the first time, sure, it's okay, yeah, but then if you rewatch it, which I tried to do, I was like, okay, yeah, I see why people were kind of like on this movie, but give it a try, like the first one, try the second one, but yeah. All right. This next one. I'm a Pirates fan, and this is a little bit after opening day of 2026. Just dated this video, but he got pulled even before the first inning. Worst performance ever he had on opening day for the Pirates against the Mets, and but forget all that. He had the Cy Young Award. Before that, he didn't. He was amazing. And people, of course, are going to judge him one game, and they're going to say, oh, overrated, overhyped. Whatever. Of course, But hey, we'll see how season goes. It was one game. But hopefully, and people, don't have any faith in the Pirates. But not just only Pirates. People like the Marlins are, laughed at. I think. The Rockies, of course, the White Sox. I think the Nationals are supposed to be really bad this year, even though I think they won. But yeah, and of course, people point to O'Neal Cruz of faulting that because of what happened in that game. But I would want an O'Neal Cruz Funko Pop because he actually is my favorite player. Even though, of course, he screwed up bad, I know, but he's when he's good, he's good. When he's good, he's good, and when he's bad, he's bad. And but maybe, I don't know. Like I said, we're not doing more of the collection videos. Maybe show something of him. But yeah, so but Paul Skeens, had a very, very bad opening day. Like I said, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But and I really like Paul Skeens. He's definitely my favorite pitcher, of course, on the Pirates. Even if he gets traded or whatever, I'll still be a fan of his. I have his. I'm not wearing it now, but I have his shirt and stuff, and I have Skeens. He's my pitcher. I played the show 26 game, and he's my pitcher. He's good, and I think he'll bounce back. I think he'll be good. Of course, it's gonna be talked about when he bats again. It's gonna be talked about when they play again. But so and he'll be standing him and my other. You saw I have Key Brian Hayes also from either last video or before that one. That have Key Brian Hayes. They stand on the front and center. They're centered for this season. Hopefully it brings better luck, than it did the game. But the pop itself I like. He has just a mustache, which is fine. I think right now he has some more silver hair and mustache look. But very cool pop. Yes. Oh, okay, that's part of the thing. I thought it was a smudge in there, but it's part of the thing. Yeah, and I really like it. If I did a ranking of my pops, he'd definitely be, I'd say top 15. And yeah, all right. Oh yeah, can you see them? Yes, you can. It is Todd's a little up there, but it's fine. So yes, so for Cat Ninjas, of course loves Aristocats. You've seen that from other videos on her channel. My favorite Disney movie of all time is The Fox and the Hound. A very very bittersweet, sad movie. And this pop is not them. It's a moment pop. It's the moment where they meet in the thing. And eventually, if they do release their single versions of them, I'll get them. And like I said, this is a final video, so we won't be any more collections. But hey, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, very, very, very sad movie. And I don't know. You have to be pretty strong to not cry when Todd gets left in the woods by the Widow Tweed, which the guy from Disney Jeopardy really doesn't like. But yeah, I love Copper. Copper, he's a hound dog. I had a beagle growing up, and stuff, and name was Barney. But it's, yeah, and then of course his friend Todd, which I think is more they play him more as the hero, not I don't know as a hero, but more as a good guy in the end. But they do have their moment where they're they share a moment and they understand each other, but they understand that the life doesn't allow them to be friends, but that's crap. But yeah, there was a sequel, but won't mention that. It was really a prequel, really, but and of course all Disney movies get live actions, well most of them, but don't know about this one if it would. Would they change stuff? Maybe be happier. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, but yeah, love Fox and Hound. Favorite Disney movie of all time. And as far as movies of all time, it's definitely a top. Where I rank it, I don't know. I know I keep always saying, oh, this is top 10, 15, but yeah, I really, really like the pop, like the figure. I think it's something I could also take out of the box eventually, because, I will probably one day display it when I want to, set everything, but for now it's going to stay in the box. But yeah, very good moment. Finally, Fox and Hound get some love. They're nowhere in Disney parks and stuff. They're nowhere, they're very not very featured a lot, but yeah. So the moment from Fox and Hound, Todd and Copper, love it. Yeah, very good big pop. All right, and I have in the final one in part one. And hopefully he stays, and hopefully you see him. All right, stay. It's hard to see him. I know it's very small. It's really, really, really unprofessional how he looks on there. But yeah, it's John Cena. The Funko Mini from him, and it is a Funko. Even though I know you can see here, I'll bring him up. You can see his eyes. You can see his eyes. I know, but that is a Funko. Even though he has eyes, it's very weird. I had to double check it because I was like, is this a Funko? But yeah, it is. It's a mystery one. And of course, I got John Cena, who we already have a Funko of. We have him, of course. He was in the, I don't know which one. I don't know. They all get lost in the order they were always released. But yeah, and I got John Cena. I could have got Roman Reigns, Uso, Rhea Ripley, but it's fine. John Cena goes with the other. I do have a WWE section collection, so they're not all the pops. Also, I have I have stuff from the Funko Pops. I have my cup from WrestleMania that I went to. And stuff. I went to WrestleMania 40. John Cena was not there, of course. Of course, he retired last year. Of course, people think that yeah, a lot's changed since the last time we seen him on the Funko videos. Yeah, he turned heel, was WWE champion, won the record for the most, 17, and yeah, he's not the only one in that. Well, he's the only one in the WWE mini figure mystery thing collection. That's the only one in that part. But yeah, it's just weird seeing a Funko of eyes. I don't understand it why they, but yeah, it's not the same. It's also the same too. The color and everything is the green one. I would have liked if it was a little different, but so that yeah. So there you go. You know, got yeah. That's the first part. Got monsters, of course. Got Jurassic stuff. The monsters, the Land for Time, sports, Fox and the Hound, and then Tiny. But it's not over yet because we have a final part. In part 2, enjoying the Cat Ninja as she does that. All right, everybody. This is the Dragon Ninja.
Cat Ninja.
Out.